Testing, testing. Testing. Good morning, everybody. It's Mandatory Metallica. Testing. All right. Well, I guess these headphones don't work for any reason. All right. Thanks for joining. I'm gonna start playing the This Week in Pinball podcast with Jack Danger. I just hate how that rattles up there. Good Lord, get in that mouth. Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, Metallica, Mandatory Metallica. Gonna play a couple games here, hopefully get a few more viewers, and then start streaming the This Week in Pinball's podcast with Jack Danger. So. Oh, Lord. Nice. Sweet. Good morning, everybody. Mandatory Metallica. Oh, Lord, man, I was killing it on that one. All right, well, I'll go ahead and start this week in Pinball. If anybody's in the chat, just let me know how the audio sounds.
Welcome to This Week in Pinball, your source for everything pinball.
Hey, what's happening, everybody. This is Zach with This Week in Pinball Podcast. This is episode 12, and I have a very, very, very special guest for you guys tonight. I'm so super stoked that he was willing to come hang out. This is one of the most recognized faces in pinball. He is a global ambassador for Stern Pinball. He has established the media outlet Dead Flip, and it's become a household name now. He's a man that puts way too much crap on a hot dog. He's not afraid to do it in IRL. No, he's not. And he is actually the man responsible for Bulgegate. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Jack Danger.
Hey everybody. How's it going?
Was that okay?
That was beautiful. I mean, I even learned a few things. What the hell is Bulgegate? I'm ready.
Thing. Hashtag Bulgegate.
I'm ready.
Well, speaking of, you ready to get into some news, my friend?
Let's dive deep.
This week's top 5 stories.
All right, deep dive, and we're going to go into the top 5 stories here. And the number one, this man has everything to know about Deadpool pinball gameplay by yours truly there, Dead Flip. Now, on the review of Deadpool pinball from Stern, last week we saw the first reveal of Deadpool pinball gameplay. The stream took place on Dead Flip's Twitch channel, which you can check out at pinball.com. It was a very high quality stream of the Pro Edition of Deadpool. So go to thisweekinpinball.com, check out all the links. It'll flip you over to Jack's Twitch channel and YouTube, so you guys can replay and watch that Deadpool gameplay. So Jack, you were blowing up that game, man. You were having some fun. Can you give some first impressions on what you thought about Deadpool?
Absolutely. So what I like to do is when I go to reveal a game, I don't want to play it before I show it on the internet. Like I absolutely swear it off. I'm like, I want to experience this when the internet's experiencing it, so that it like when you see me react, it's real. You know, it's not me going like, oh, I can't believe the big that's although like I made it 20 times before.
Yeah.
I did flip on the Whitewood like months before this thing came out, but that was my first time seeing it finished, seeing it with art, seeing it with the crew. So it was pretty cool. I will say, every single shot, and not even kidding, 100% of every freaking shot on that playfield was in like the strangest, most ethereal, magical spot on the flipper that I couldn't miss. And that was the best showing I've ever had in a reveal stream, because like on Star Wars, Ghostbusters, Game of Thrones, I would just be crapping my pants.
Yeah, I got to play the Deadpool Pro in San Diego at a bar called Brewski's. Shout out to Aaron for letting us play it, and it was a lot of fun. So back to the interview here.
I couldn't play the thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a new game. Something about this game just opened up to me, and I just tore it up. So much, in fact, that my Vinicor leaned over and he's like, you're going to have to stop. You're going to have to stop. I'm like, come on, dude.
Vinicor told you, come on.
I'm killing this thing.
And not show the whole game.
Right, I went back to like look at the VOD, and I saw Zach and Mike looking over at each other like, yeah, we have to stop this.
I know, I saw Zach and Keith split flipping, and they were tearing it up too.
Yeah, man, they were destroying it. So the first impression is I thought the game shot incredibly well. The ball just wanted to go where it needed to go.
It looked smooth, man.
But like some of the things I was seeing people saying were like, well, the game looks like it's a long ball time, it's too easy. Well, the reason we broke it up in the teams that we did was you saw the first 4 people, which was like a mixture of different play levels. Then we threw in the quote-unquote professionals in my bank, where we could show how to just absolutely open the thing up. And then we threw in some people that don't really play all that often outside of maybe their 15 minutes a day at Stern. And it was all different. Like the pros were playing moderately to long. The beginners were having some trouble finding the shot. I mean, it's all there.
George Gomez usually has a nice, approachable layout, so
100%.
Kind of what I expected. It looked to me like it's a bold statement, but I think this might be George Gomez, one of his nicest looking layouts, and I haven't put hands on it yet, but boy, the thing looks smooth.
Dude, it's so smooth. And I brought that up. I'm like, I saw some people in chat complaining that maybe ball times are too long. They're like, yo, we could just...
I'm a fan of long ball times, actually, just especially if you're putting money down on a game.
Take rubbers off a poster, poster. Anything that you do to make a game harder, which you can do on this game. In fact, the left out lane on that game was a gobble monster
Well,
for a lot of people.
Now I saw when everybody saw the pictures whenever it was announced, we all saw that cross ramp shot, and everybody was like, "That thing's gonna be clunky. There's no way you're gonna hit that." That thing was, and it looked like it was gonna be slow. That thing was quick.
You're talking about that little sort of swoopy gate thing that you shoot on the right that goes up on the left.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. It when I first saw that, I'm like, oh, that'll be interesting. Like, that's even remotely off. I feel it's gonna rattle around. No, it's almost like there was magnets in there throwing the ball.
Yeah.
It was
and you
so
can freaking bank it. You can bank it off the Wolverine shot.
Oh yeah. So if you shot straight up into where like the Wolverine spinner is, if you hit that target that adds your like bonus multiplier, that will ricochet up the freaking ramp. It's the craziest stuff.
He's a legend for a reason, isn't he?
Dude, George, stop it, dude. I mean, don't stop it.
Our homie Gummy. Boy knows what he's doing. Now, I love the fact that you had Timmy Sexton kind of go over the rules and the gameplay with the glass off, just showing the basic gameplay before you guys go down. That way, everybody can kind of follow along as you guys were playing. So, kudos there. I think it was good production.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. We tried that first on Iron Maiden with Keith Elvin taking the glass off and letting him like put his way through there. And it was very well received, and people went back to like watch that to learn some basic rules. You know, over time, who knows if like some things are going to change, but they go over like the base core values of the game that are not going to really differentiate all that often. And we even changed where we stream this time. So I was setting up on the Stern Factory floor, sweating every part of my body off, and I'm like, dude, I have to put on a Deadpool costume in this. I'm not gonna last 2 minutes.
That thing was tight too, man.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to that. But you know, as I was setting up, I was like, God, I need a break. And we all walked in the kitchen and we were looking around and we're like, wait a second. You know, if we move those tables here and turn off these lights, like, holy crap! And it worked out incredibly well. We didn't have like the weird hammering that you have in all my other streams. The light was super controllable. The AC was good, so we weren't just like shining wet, you know, mermaids playing pinball. Yeah, everything was super controllable. So the only thing I noticed that I was a little bummed about when I went back to look at the stream was I had grabbed the wrong camcorder for my playfield, and my color was off a little bit, and I think autofocus was still on every once in a while. A little tiny minutia stuff that drove.
Wow, I didn't notice.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Well, you're always going to have that. And speaking of, we as the viewers, big fans of all the streams that you do. You bring pinball to the masses, my friend. But we want to know, tell us a little bit about the process of streaming these reveals. Because when you're at Logan or you're...
This is a very good question here, because trying to stream on location is so labor intensive and frustrating, especially because you got people watching what you're doing, asking you questions, and of course nothing ever works right at the beginning. So you're feeling the pressure, and you don't want really people to talk to you because you're trying to focus on the setup, and then you kind of come off as a dick because you know, you can't really give people any kind of attention that they're asking. So
at the studio, that's one thing. But when everything is on the line for you, is there a lot of anxiety? Tell me about the process of streaming these reveals, whether you're doing it in Stern, Spooky, or whatnot.
Yeah, so it takes a little preparation, and if we want to get it like on the front page of Twitch, we need to know weeks in advance, and the manufacturers don't know weeks in advance, like because code.
now that's cool that he's able to get the stream on the front page. Yeah, sometimes he's got 1,000 viewers because he's featured on Twitch. That's just incredible.
Can have a bug last second, or maybe something in engineering wasn't quite right. So this just happened to be a sweet spot for Deadpool. But what'll happen is, Zach or whomever, let's say we'll use Stern as an example, We'll be like, hey, 2 weeks, we're gonna do Deadpool Pro. Can you get us a time slot? And I'll contact my resources at Twitch to see if we can get that on the front page. Yes or no, it doesn't matter. And then when I show up, I like to show up like 3 to 4 hours early because something is always wrong. Always. Whether it's like a last minute bug fix,
HDMI cord don't work.
Dude, literally, it could be something on my end, something on their end. But it's, I'll just set up. I'll run it.
The worst is just poor internet. It's so sad to live in this country, and there's just so much bad internet everywhere.
Few tests, I'll stress test it and push it as hard as I can through the internet because I can, you can do like test streams that don't really go out live, but I like to push out to a test account that no one knows about. And there's no real anxiety. I think the more the anxiety,
Nothing?
I'd say absolute zero, but I'd say all the anxiety is probably on Stern to hope that nothing goes wrong.
Yeah,
like Pinball. One of the biggest flubs we've had from a Stern reveal was when Keith Allen finally blew up the Death Star on Star Wars and it didn't open. And that was like such a small thing because honestly it wasn't plugged in, which was like a very small, stupid mistake.
Yeah.
But man, the internet was just like,
oh yeah, you know how it is, man. When everybody sees that.
Works. It's a worse game. Just get it up. Thing didn't open. It's never been open for anybody. No, like these people when I do the reveals, like it's spooky and all that. They're putting final touches on these games last minute.
Yeah.
And it's all. Everyone's got their hands in there. There's sometimes too many cooks, and I guess some people just assume this person did this person did that. So
Man, this is my first time listening to this podcast. This is really good, and Jack Danger, he's so friendly and approachable, so it makes it very good.
Again, these reveals they're for you guys. They're like, these games are just about to go out. There's still things that are going to be tweaked, but we're being allowed to show them to you ahead of schedule, which is more of like an honor than anything else, that we get to come in and show it off. So if something is messed up, it's not going to be messed up when the dang thing ships, but because people have seen it just and they're like, well, this is the final game and everything's screwed up, so screw this game.
I've been guilty, I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, man, it happens. It happens. What are you gonna do?
Not gonna lie. So moving on to story number 2. This is also Stern related. This Week in Pinball podcast last week brought you an exclusive Zombie Yeti interview.
Oh yeah.
Now Jeff from This Week in Pinball, he did it, and I'm busting his balls a little bit because he messed up something on the audio at the last second and didn't realize it. So the audio's a little jumbled, but that's what's great about This Week in Pinball. I'm going to read you guys some of the highlights of that interview. Yeti gave us some juice, man. He gave us some
Oh yeah. I'm reading it, man. He dumped it out.
He thumbs up. So let's talk about on the journey of Deadpool. Jeremy Packer says the following. He says, after Ghostbusters, Deadpool was brought up, and this was actually before the first film came out, by the way. It was sort of a slow start at the point. I think it was 6 months after Ghostbusters was safely out that we even started the early concepts and ideas for that. The short version is, I think I had 1 or 2 pieces that were maybe going to be locked in and final, and then all of a sudden it was, quote, we're putting this on hold, end quote, and that was 2016. So it went on hold until the spring of 2017, maybe. From my perspective, the whole long start and stop thing, it happened twice to me. That, the first time the game was put on hold, was more because of the slate of games that were coming. That was business decisions. Then in 2017, it got hot again. I literally had an entire playfield sketch getting ready to submit, and we were going to have a phone meeting. It was going to be Greg, Tanya, myself, JT. We all get on the phone, everybody but JT. And I said, is, quote, JT getting on this, end quote, and Greg went and asked around. Said he didn't call in sick or anything, but he's just not in. So we all kind of know what happened there. But I thought it interesting to know that Deadpool, just the idea behind it was always a comic book. It came before even the film, which I think at the end of the day was the smartest choice. So I found that really interesting.
Oh yeah, Deadpool is, so I go to a lot of video game and Comic-Con sort of conventions, and the cosplay you see above all else is everyone dressed up as Deadpool, and that has been a thing for like decades.
Yeah, it's a fan favorite.
Like Deadpool's always been like a cocky, fun character to mess with, and the movies just accentuated that for people that had no idea who that character was, and I'm glad this was still comic book, but it's awesome that it came out around the time of the second movie because that interest is there from a lot of people, not just like the comic book fans. But yeah, I think it was a very smart move to go comic book related on this, and you couldn't have chosen a better artist to do
Oh,
the art on this game.
aces. I mean, the guy blows it up every single time he puts pen to paper. It's nuts.
2 freaking home runs in a row, and within like what? How many months apart were these game announcements? This is ridiculous.
Now, speaking of Tanyo, he had lead code on this. This is his first run as lead programmer.
Oh yeah.
Yet he says the following. He says, "quote He's not just the lead programmer. He's a lot of the brains behind the story. He's a huge comic book nerd like myself. The craziness of this game, a lot of it has to do with him." End quote. So Jack, tell us, do you have a pretty good relationship with Tanyo? Tell us a little bit about Tanyo.
Yeah, Tanyo's a really awesome guy. I will say I couldn't name his other games off the top of my head, but he is just, every time I'm at Stern, he is just the coolest dude to hang out with. Very supportive of what I do, and I think the dude just knocked Deadpool absolutely out of the park. And I'm glad that they trusted him with his very first game with a title like this, because this is a huge title for him to take on. And I remember seeing him. I walked into his office when they wanted to show me the whiteboard for the first time, and he was just over the moon to show me hey, oh God, you're gonna love this. We built like a fighting game engine in here, and he's like flicking stick, and he was like, we're gonna, okay, and then like this dinosaur's gonna chase him. Like this guy was like, he was a Deadpool fan before this, and this was like a dream thing for him, I would imagine. Like he just killed it.
I love whenever the creators get something they can sink their teeth into and support 100%. It always comes out in the gameplay, it always comes out in the code, the artwork. So it seems like a collaboration that came to a head very, very well.
Yeah, I think he went above and beyond with this code. I mean, they, like I mentioned, literally built a fighting game into this game. Like you could take that out and just have these characters fighting like out of the pinball machine. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. Now, regarding the design, so we all know the ugliness of the design and having to be scrapped and everything, and then yours truly, the dumb on straight down the middle. I didn't say I had information.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty amazing if Stern decided to release the fighting game as like an app on a phone. I mean, they should definitely do that. But considering that Marvel already has fighting game apps on the mobile space, it's probably not going to happen.
That there were still some Trudeau elements in there, but I did say it wouldn't surprise me if some of it was still used because it was very unorthodox for it to go in its layout. So, Zabier says the following quote, "I can assure you that everything was scrapped. When I went in to see the original whiteboard, I made a joke that, and my joke was this, which, side note, side note, yet he says, quote, wow, this is fascinating. You took all of the feedback from Ghostbusters and you decided to make the most negative aspect of that and to focus it into the main feature of this game. And let me explain why, yet he goes on to say, it had a ramp that would come up right in the middle of the playfield that would literally just send the ball, just air balls. It was nothing but air balls. It could have been fun, I'm sure," and then he goes on to talk about it. But I think it's really cool that Yeti lets us in on that type of information, and it just shows what a stand-up guy this is. If he's thinking it, he's going to voice his opinion.
You know, Zombie Yeti, I love you to death. He is the cockiest son of a gun with his jokes. Like he is cracking wise 100% of the time. I don't know how anyone can get anything serious out of this dude's mouth. I love him to death. And
he's got a dry sense of humor.
Yeah, absolutely. You could say literally anything like, and I spilled my coffee, and you would just get a ribbing for about 20 minutes about how he's going to make fun of you about it.
I can always sense a man's personality by his humility as well, and he has great humility. He can even poke fun at some of his own work, and he seems like a great guy.
Yeah, he's a super awesome dude, and I'm glad that he's on board at Stern to help make awesome art for these pins.
Yeah. Now moving on, there's still more juice in this interview. So Jeff then asks, "Am I right that Premium and LE on Deadpool are the same backlash except the LE is mirrored?" Yet he says, "Sadly, it is true, and you guys can all blame me for that. I chose to devote the fast track time that I had elsewhere on the game, I would assume. And I really didn't have time to get back to try to coming up with another one. It's because of what happened. So there's not one package on here that's bad looking. They're all phenomenal. It could easily be award-winning packages, each and every one of them.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you had to pick one, Jackie D, what's your favorite of the packages?
I think the Ellie is the one with the dinosaur, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, that's it, man. The colors just pop on that thing like crazy. Yeah, so good.
And I like the side art blades and stuff,
and that's not a game show about like, hey, go buy the LE, get pay more money. That way actually looks freaking amazing. It looks
and they're all sold out anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Well then, screw you guys.
It doesn't matter anyway. He likes the LE.
Yeah.
All right. Now, here's the part that scares me. So, he says this is on possibly his new pinball machine that Zombie Yeti's working on. Jeff says, are you currently on any other pinball machines? Okay. Yeti says the following: I turned down what would have been the next project. That was a hard decision, but I talked it over with Greg, and he'd agreed that it would probably not be good for me as far as with the schedules.
Anybody else in the chat, can you think of another artist that you'd like to see a pinball made out of? I think the artist Coop is pretty good. There's another guy named Killer Acid. If you can see his stuff on Instagram, Killer Acid. I think he would make an awesome pinball artist. His stuff is perfect for pinball.
It's been never ended. Having said that, it doesn't mean that I might not be on at least another. I have to watch how I answer that. And then Jeff follows up respectfully. He says, are you taking a break right now from pinball? Yet he responds, no. So there's your answer. One of the things I would love to see is other artists from other disciplines taking a stab at things in the pinball world. That is one thing I've been talking since before I worked for Stern. That is one of the things I've talked about wanting to do, and I might be able to help make that happen at some point. I don't know. We'll see. That would be interesting to me. And then he goes on to say, if I decide, I'm not saying I've decided not to, if I decide to do another pinball machine, it's going to be with Stern. There's no question. They've treated me very well. They've been very nice. They've been fantastic to work with. The point I'd like to make here to the audience, you guys, is this is a big, bold statement for Yeti to say, if I made another pinball machine, art-wise, it would be with Stern Pinball.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So, but I don't want to lose the guy. Come on, Jack.
No,
give him his ear.
I'm sure he's got he has other things going on in his life as well.
But yeah, selfishly though, I want 20 more pinball machines.
Who's to say he doesn't have that on the back burner somewhere, just as like little tests? Because you never know.
He's building a hype.
He's probably going to make like the next 12 pinball machines.
And they will all sell very well then.
Exactly.
Okay, so moving on. Before we move on, I want to ask this. This is a tough question, but I've got to know. So we see Stern Pinball. You do a lot of streams for them. We see Spook Pinball. You do a lot of streams for them. Now, whenever there's the conflicts that come up in pinball. It happens, man.
Oh yeah.
But do you ever feel stuck in between two groups of friends, like this whole Godzilla thing, man? I don't think you're stuck per se, but do you ever feel stuck in between, like, oh crap, two of my brothers are fighting here. What do I do? How do you deal with that, man?
No, so before I accepted to be the global ambassador for Stern, it was a long conversation with Stern, and I was like, my show depends on my playing nice with everybody. You know, if I become a shill for one company, then that sort of takes away the integrity of what Dead Flip is.
Absolutely,
you know.
Yeah.
So, when we started talking about that, I reached out to manufacturers and I was like especially Chuck, I was at Spooky. I was like, hey, if I take this job at Stern, am I still allowed to come, stream here? Because I know you let me in, you let me know secrets. I mean, all these people, they tell me some pretty deep stuff. And Chuck just straight out, he was like, hey man, we love you and we're always happy to have you no matter what. And I was like, that is freaking awesome. So I don't feel torn really. I don't know too much of the business side of things, I will say, like, I don't know that there's like crazy malicious crap going on, but again, I don't know too much about the whole thing that went down. I just know something happened, and that Chuck was pretty upset, and Stern, I guess, ended up with the license. I don't even know if that was. Is it confirmed that they have the license? Is that what it is?
I think it's assumed. And then George Gomez was pretty outspoken about it on Nate Shiver's podcast, which was nice to see. Because Stern sometimes, and rightfully so, they just say they're not talking about the future.
I wonder if that's going to be their next pinball machine, since that movie's coming out. When is that new Godzilla movie coming out? King of the Monsters 2019, so Stern may be able to get that game out in time for the movie release or shortly thereafter. Hopefully the movie's good.
Titles or anything like that.
Right.
But George came out and said that they like the Godzilla theme and license too. So, he insinuated that yes.
I will say there's like I've seen just walking around. I guess the only thing I'll tell you from like walking into like the secret back areas of Stern is like there's Godzilla fans there.
Yeah.
And like I think there's like I know Jody's office is covered in them. Someone in the back. God, who the heck is it? I think one of the artist rooms has like a couple.
There was somebody on your screen for Deadpool that was wearing the Godzilla T-shirt too. I saw. So.
Who? Oh, that's the lead. The lead for the artists, and
I always forget his name.
I'm wondering if that wasn't just he wore. Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that just wasn't like he wore this shirt and like okay sort of thing. But
Oops.
Yeah, we'll see. No one there was no like bragging about the license or anything like that. So that who knows.
There's no time for that, is there?
Exactly. There's
a pinball machine.
we got better stuff to do.
Yeah, we gotta shoot out.
It'll be interesting if they ever make a documentary, another one about the pinball industry. Like if they have that new He-Man documentary where they talk about Mattel and Kenner and the different toy companies, and there's a lot of rivalry between them. So it'd be fascinating if somebody ever did a documentary about the inside of the business, but who knows if anybody's willing to talk.
50 pinball machines a day, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So moving on to story 3.
Oh, baby.
All right, so Medieval Madness Remake is their new display option. So we know that Attack from Mars Remake gets the upgraded, extended, long display, new animations, new graphics that are redone, if you will. And then we know that Monster Dash has been confirmed. That's coming out. They're going to do the same treatment. We saw a little sneak peek of a Medieval Madness remake that had that larger display. Now, I've been told that it was at Logan Arcade. Did you see this at all? You're always at Logan.
I'm always at Logan, and I did not see the large screen MMR. I have seen the large screen Attack from Mars, but if there's a large screen Medieval Madness, I will freaking go there tomorrow to check it out.
And they might have just, so Logan, in a lot of respects, they're like a test facility, right? Sometimes they get things before everybody else just to see how the Chicago suburb public, how it does on location, right? I know
Right,
257 does that too.
Yeah, one of the main test places level 257, and like everyone sends their games there. You got American Pinball, Spooky, Stern, Jersey Jack. I think they had anyway, and yeah, they got them all there, and you get to beat up on them, and then they get feedback, and then they tweak those for their actual production models. And Logan Arcade, some people donate some stuff there. I know Stern might have a few games there. I know it's called Chicago Pinball, right? I'm spacing.
Chicago Gaming, yeah.
Yeah, Chicago Gaming, sorry. They had like a launch party for Attack from Mars remake there. So yeah, some people are dropping some games off there. I haven't seen the large screen on that. That'd be cool to see the up-res graphics on Medieval Madness, because the up-res graphics on Attack from Mars are freaking incredible.
Are they
They're
not
so
designed
good.
for?
They're like they took what you know and just made it way. They took it from 8-bit to like 32-bit. It just looks so.
You might
from
be
Atari
actually there.
to Atari to Sega. You know, it's so good.
I think it's. So what do you think about the Chicago Gaming remakes? Is this something you would like to see? Do you like them remix?
These Chicago gaming remakes are brilliant because there's so many of these super rare and absolutely incredible games that are either hoarded or you rarely see on location. And when they do come up for sale, it's the machines, $8,000 to $15,000, and probably over 20 years old. So why not get a brand new one if you're going to spend that kind of money? I'll spend $8,000 on a brand new one, even though it's not the original. I played both the Attack from Mars and Medieval Madness remake, and I can't really tell them. You can't really tell them apart.
Making games, or do you think, you know what, keep the oldies but goodies, the oldies but goodies?
I like that they're remaking them because a lot of those games people were buying up and like they didn't want people to touch them. You know, it's like this game is worth so much money, don't touch my Monster Bash or my Attack from Mars. So remaking them is pretty dope because we're gonna get more of those.
What's cool about the Museum of Pinball, which you'll notice on the bottom left corner of the screen, Pinball Madness is coming up. The Museum of Pinball has a Monster Bash, has the original Attack from Mars, has the original Medieval Madness. So if you're in the Southern California area, come out to Pinball Madness. Tickets are on sale now.
Location to play, and what's cool is like they have such a great facility that I wouldn't be surprised that they couldn't pump out like an original theme out of there because they've got like their assembly line stuff down.
Yeah, the rumor is that at some point, once they get some of these classics out, that they're gonna try that. That's the rumor anyway. So that would be cool.
Yeah, because they're proven to put games out that are holding together. So
yeah, they're brand new machines. It's awesome. Now, is there a Bally Williams that you are particularly fond of that you would love to see remade?
Oh man,
for me it's Circus Voltaire. It's not deep. It's gimmick.
A Bally Williams game I'd like to see remade. Well, if it's a DMD era one, I would say Elvira's Scared Stiff. That's a really good one. If it's a alphanumeric or just a numeric, the original Black Knight or Centaur, I think a new Centaur would be badass.
But man, there's a beauty on Circus Voltaire that is unsurpassed by a lot.
Circus that's a pretty good one actually because I don't see that around all that often.
Yeah, I can see that big old display in the back instead of that little orange DMD in the back there on the playfield. Oh man,
Yes, Upreds. I can't even talk. Upreds, those graphics, it's gonna look gorgeous, full color. Holy crap! Well, you know what? You have my vote on that one.
Let's do it. Yeah, moving on. Jersey Jack Pinball's Pirates of the Caribbean is now shipping.
Circus Voltaire. That's at the Museum of Pinball.
Oh, the beautiful Jack. We're going to do his. I'm going to say cartwheel, but it sure as the hell wasn't a cartwheel.
In quotes, he tried several. He'd get like halfway through it and then just sort of fall, but the excitement is there.
Jack is very young at heart, but man, I'm not gonna bullshit Jack. I'm worried when the man tries to do a cartwheel.
Yeah, his arms just gave out.
We need you, Jack. We don't need you doing cartwheels where you is up on the ground.
True that.
So have you put any time on Pirates of the Caribbean?
I've only played the prototype 3-disc one at level 257.
Okay.
And Keith Johnson explaining like how many different characters and combinations of things, like the number was just blowing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is when I got to play that in the tournament, I just go to like Josh Sharp and go, what the heck do I do on this game? And he's like, pick the dude that's kind of balding, shoot the thing that's over here, follow the lights, you're good to go. The game feels like a Jersey Jack game. It might be one of their better games.
I agree.
The rocking boat mechanism up top is extremely unique, which is awesome. I think Eric said that he referenced something that Banger J made, which was like an entire flash pinball machine that was built on a rocker. So the entire playfield was rocking back and forth. You take the tilt bob mechanism out of that, and it is insane to play because that ball is just going everywhere. But yeah, it's fun, man. I need way more time on that game because it just hands me my butt every single time I play it.
It sounds to me that old Chuck needs to have Banger J do his own pinball machine now. First Denise Nelson Banger J pinball.
Dude, so have you seen a lot of the Pinball Olympic stuff that Banger J's made?
Yeah, man, it's nice.
Oh my god. He took a Lord of the Rings, which is a notoriously long playing game, put a treadmill underneath it that the longer you play, the faster the treadmill goes, so that you can't sit and play that game forever.
You better get them jackpots.
Yeah. Or the Iron Man that is hanging from chains from the ceiling. It's like floating around, and then you have to sort of lay in this hammock while you play. Anyway, so Jersey Jack Pirates. It's fun, man. But I need way more time to bang around on that thing for sure.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. So that's why I love This Week in Pinball. They're going to give you a rundown. Jeff over there's got all of the cartwheels. So you can check out Jack doing all of those cartwheels, and you can vote on your favorite one as well. Reach out to us at This Week in Pinball Podcast at gmail.com. Let us know what your favorite Jack cartwheel or attempt of a cartwheel is yours. All right, moving on. All right, this one I'm stoked about. This one I'm super stoked about.
Oh, yeah, that's what I think it is. Yeah.
That's right. So the title of this segment is a new Guns N' Roses machine in the works. So the Times out of London recently interviewed Slash from Guns N' Roses. Slash. He's a known pinhead. Part of the article, Slash actually discusses pinball. Quote, Slash's life may still be driven by rock and roll, but the drugs, booze, and wild adventures are a thing of the past. These days, he leads a relatively stable existence in Los Angeles with his 2 sons by his ex-wife, Perla Farrar, and his girlfriend, Megan Hodges, and this pinball machine. Quote, I'm working on a Guns N' Roses pinball machine, but I'm not a big collector. They take up too much space, and the missus is always like, really?
They take up too much space. Are you telling me this guy doesn't have like a bunker somewhere?
Well, even as a rock star, the property value in Los Angeles is unbelievable, especially if you're looking for, you're trying to live in the Hollywood Hills or something. I mean, Guns N' Roses, they're awesome, but they're not quite as popular as they used to be, right? And then from that article, I just gathered he was getting his machine repaired, not working on a new one. But if there was a new one, I think that would be incredible.
Philip and Pete? Come on, Flash.
So everybody's asking, we had that at East Guns N' Roses, which I will say I thought was pretty stellar and awesome. Are we going to get, is he just doing repairs to his old GNR? Are we going to get a new Guns N' Roses?
Yeah, that wording's a little tricky. I'm working on a Guns N' Roses pinball machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does that mean? Is he fixing up the old Data East one, which is actually pretty fun, man.
It is. It's not bad.
The ramps are a G and an R. It's insane how awesome that concept is. Man, how do you top that Guns N' Roses game though? It's got the pistol, it's got the rose plunger.
I think it's pretty easy. I think it's easy to top Jack if you have Stern or Jersey Jack do it. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, so
Question: what type of
I would love to see Jersey Jack do a musical themed pin, but I don't think that's really what they're looking to do. I think they like movie titles better.
music does the infamous Jack Danger listen to?
Oh man.
So now I hear you listening to stroking my heartstrings when you're playing your 80s music at the studio there, because I love me some 80s music. But what, generally speaking, what might people be surprised that you like listening to?
So obviously, as you mentioned, like the 80s stuff is fun, a little new wave, a little whatever there. But sometimes you gotta listen to like some late 80s, early 90s country music.
Oh, get it, Jack.
Yeah. It just, and the streams where I actually put that music on, boy, I'll tell you, my numbers just Hank, like none other. You could tell who the real hardcore Dead Flip fans are when they're just like, I'll sit through it. It might end soon. We'll just see what happens.
This honky tonk can't last forever.
Yeah, you're not wrong, brother. You know, it's all mood based, but yeah, like I'm not gonna go through all those like emo bands that I listened to back in 2006, but everyone had their moment, I'm sure.
Something tells me you have less piercings now.
They have all been taken out of my body. Yeah. Anyway.
Now, before we move on, I will say that this week Pinball did reach out to Slash. Everybody laughs right now. I hear you guys laughing, but this week Pinball did. They reached out to Slash. We have yet to hear back, but fingers crossed.
Hey, you never know.
You never know. Why not?
You know, I'm sitting here talking to you, holding my Twippy Award here, and for 2017 Pinball Award winner, favorite pinball Twitch streamer of the year, and I say I'm ready to.
Are we still in a repeat?
It needs a sibling for sure. Maybe something a little bigger, and something that lights up. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Let's throw some gaudiness up on this next one.
Okay. We'll reach out to Jeff and let him know that we want it bigger.
Bigger, please.
But then it won't match the other one.
That's fine. I want to be able to put this one into that one, sort of like a transformer.
Oh, like it's holding it, nestling.
Yes, please.
Shout out of the week.
Shout out of the week this week goes to American Pinball, their Houdini pinball machine.
Woo!
Oh, look at that. And their company has had relatively few issues, few drama, all while being one of the few manufacturers that are consistently communicative, that's a tough word to say, to customers through pinball forums such as Pinside.
I gotta say that American Pinball, that Houdini, man, that playfield, I got to play it at Arcade Expo and at California Extreme, and the machines were played constantly, and the playfield, I didn't see any dimpling. It was just insane, unless it's been played so much that all the dimples have gone away. But yeah, the machine is pretty rock solid for a brand new machine from a first-time company.
We look forward to future games from American Pinball. Nice job, guys.
Absolutely. I gotta say, for a brand new pinball company to drop a game like Houdini right out of the gate, just what are you guys doing? That's incredible.
That's good stuff.
Your next game is just going to be a masterpiece, because you know that's a real pinball. Like it's incredible. It's fun to shoot.
Kicker too.
Oh, actually, well, yes, which is good. But Nermal over at American Pinball hollered at me, and we're probably going to be streaming a little bit more Houdini here in the future.
Oh, I love hearing that.
Oh yeah, baby.
I love hearing that. Yeah, a lot of good code on that game, a lot of toys, a lot of good flow. You gotta hit those shots, but once you do, they're the most satisfying thing in pinball.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Instant info. What else is happening in pinball?
All right, instant info. I think the guy on the other end of the line knows plenty about this. Deadpool topper? Question mark. All right, last week, Pinball Paparazzi shared this image on Facebook with the caption, Deadpool Proto Topper Spotted. Now, the image was from George Gomez. It said, thank you, Mr. Zombie Yeti, for the enormous, ultra cool Deadpool early Christmas. Boom! So, George there on his Facebook was holding up this ginormous figurine statue of Deadpool, which is super cool, but all the nerds like myself zoomed in the background and saw what may have been a little bitty topper, a little peek, a little beep boop, showed a little bit too much there, like Janet Jackson did the Super Bowl. So they pulled it. The image was pulled rather quickly. What is Jack? I'm not sure Jackson want to comment, but you there, Jack?
How do I make the 56K modem dial-up noise right now?
All right, we're gonna be nice to Mr. Danger. We're gonna move on, and we are gonna talk about maybe one of the coolest things here. Jack Danger talks about being Stern's global ambassador. The Nerd Element interviewed Jack Danger and asks him about being the Pinball global ambassador. So Jack, what the hell does that even mean? I knew you were a Pinball ambassador, but we done gone global.
Oh yeah, so Stern sort of recognized like the stuff that I was doing to help, sort of grow this hobby. I'm traveling to all these like I'm traveling places where pinball isn't even a thing. I'm going to like video game conventions, comic book conventions, and I'd have a pinball machine in tow and just try to like reach out and bring more people into it as a quote unquote ambassador might do. And Stern's just trying to support me in keeping me going and allowing me to go to more places that otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford to go, if I can say that. And it's been awesome. Essentially, I'm just going to take over Gary's job as the face of the company. And sorry, buddy, but it's been you've had a good run.
That was really good run. So, is there an upcoming spot that you can publicly announce that you are going next in this position, or just to be announced? When you're going to Tokyo, I want you to go to Tokyo.
Yo, okay, literally, I want to go overseas so bad to like start doing some like ambassadorial things over there. Is that a word?
Nice job. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue. I would love to go overseas. Tokyo. Let's go to London. Let's go to Scotland. Let's go to South America. Let's go like everywhere. Send me and a pinball machine in a road case somewhere, and you're gonna see some crazy streams coming out of me.
I love.
Scotland would be badass, because it'd be hard as hell to understand what anybody was saying.
Like everywhere. Send me and a pinball machine in a road case somewhere, and you're gonna see some crazy streams coming out of me.
I love it, man. Well, I don't know about seeing crazy streams coming out of you, but yeah.
Oh wait, whoa.
Yeah. Did you hear it?
Wait, Chris.
You said it. Well, let's make that an intro, Jeff. Now, home pin drama continues. We know Jack Danger loves drama.
Yeah, buddy. It's my favorite.
All right, home pin shipped out their first batch of Thunderbirds last week to, wait for it, Canada? I guess Jeff Teolis is from the Thunder. Okay, so this made many of the early Australian backers and pre-orders of Thunderbirds pretty upset, as they've been paid in full for nearly 5 years in some cases, and they still don't have a machine. Now, Mike spoke out on his side, surprise, about these complaints in his own, quote, Mike way, pouring gasoline on the fire. We hope the first supporters of Home Bin will get their machines soon. So, Jack, I'm going to throw you a softball here. Have you played Thunderbirds?
So, I've been wanting to stream that game, and along the regards of what I like to do before a game that I want to stream is I don't touch it.
Yeah.
So, I have seen the game. It's a DMD game, so they brought the DMD back. And it's got a, I mean, I don't know. I mean, DMDs are...
Is it retro yet?
Yeah, sure. It's retro. It's a retro theme. Why not go retro to display? Yeah. I heard some people talking about it. I heard some pluses and some minuses. Something about like the center ramp, you have to spell intergalactic espionage, but you have to spell every letter of that by hitting the ramp.
Oh wow.
But I'm, again, I like to just, listen to what people are saying, but I'll take it with a grain of salt until I can bang around on it. And there is an event that I may be going to in about a month, where I'm probably going to be doing some whatever. It doesn't matter, but we'll see what happens when we can actually sink our teeth into it.
I like the sound of it. We've got some other events coming up. In general, I'll run through these quickly, but UK Pin Fest, the first dedicated pinball event in the UK in 3 years, is going to be held in Daventry, a central location for the whole of the UK, on August 25th and 26th. You can check out their website at thisweekinpinball.com, as well as the Canadian National Exhibition Pinball Championships. This coming weekend, we'll also see the second ever Canadian National Exhibition Pinball Championships, which are taking place in Toronto. I don't have a good Canadian accent.
Toronto.
That sounds more West Coast.
Yeah, that you're a surfer Canadian. Toronto.
Hey? I guess maybe.
Yeah, that's it. It sounds Canadian now. You did it.
Toronto? Hey? No, bad. Alright, Buffalo Pinball Summer Open. I love this. This is total transparency here. Congrats to, and then Jeff put a line in it because I'm probably supposed to do my homework to see who won that.
Adam Becker.
Look at that coming in. I love it.
Took it home, buddy. Took it home.
Really?
A monster, huge climb on NBA Fast Break. Oh my gosh, he just pulled himself out of the mud to just destroy on ball 3.
I was watching it for a little bit today, and then had some family stuff, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch right now.
Yeah, bud.
Adam Becker's really been climbing up these ladders, man.
Oh yeah, dude. You saw his collection, right? He's got plenty to practice on. Holy crap.
He's got like a whole greenhouse full of them.
Yeah. He has like 9 arcades under one roof.
He does some streaming too, I think.
Oh yeah, it's one up.
I don't know.
Is it one up? I'll have to double check. I think it's one up. Ah, crap, I can't remember.
That's okay. We'll reach out. We'll get it on this week in pinball.
Extra balls, cool and crazy stuff.
Okay, Extra Balls Breaking Bad Pinball Machine. Someone's creating a custom Breaking Bad Pinball Machine. If you want to check out pictures, go to thisweekinpinball.com. Check those out. Now, for me, selfishly, I love the series Breaking Bad. I think it would be a pretty good, alongside of like Sopranos, it would be a pretty cool pinball machine. I just don't know if anybody's going to take the chance on it. What do you think, Dave?
I think I feel like it's been off TV for too long.
Okay.
But people that were in love with that show were like madly in love with that show.
Yeah.
I totally agree there. Everybody kept telling me, "Oh, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it." Then I finally sat down and watched the first 2 seasons and got into episode 1 of season 3, and I was just like, I just don't get the appeal of this show. It just was too slow for me, and yeah, I just didn't really care for it.
I missed the boat on this one, unfortunately, when it came to watching. I know. I literally watched the first episode, an episode in the middle, and then I watched the very last episode, and it didn't make sense to me at all because I bounced around. The cabinet on this thing looks sick.
It does look pretty clean.
I love that sort of muted, like sandy, like portraiture of what's going on with the characters there. The playfield looks like it's Doctor Who.
Yeah, right now it looks like that he's looking for an artist. He kind of has like a collage of where he wants things, and then he's looking for an artist that can seamlessly just come in and create that conceptualization.
The layout literally is Doctor Who.
Yeah, there it is.
How about it?
I want to see this. Jack, this is the thing, but I want to see whenever player 2 hasn't come up yet. I want to hear Jesse say, "Hey yo, it's your turn."
Oh, I'm aware of the.
Yeah, sure.
I'm aware of the. Are we allowed to swear in this? In pictures?
It's got such a good effect that I beep them out later.
It's contextual, like it means something to the story. So,
yeah. So
okay.
that's why he always wants to keep clean. He gets mad at when I cuss, but he's like, just let the guests do the guests. Let them do what they do, but you don't cuss. But I cuss more than you.
All right, Jeff, get ready. I'm about to just open up on this next one.
That's Deputy Prime Minister of Italy plays pinball. Like, who cares,
Oh,
Jeff?
this son of a...
Oh, the poor guy, he was playing Ghostbusters too.
I know. Here's the thing. I
As
love
an
Ghostbusters.
ambassador, come on.
I love Ghostbusters for how hard it is.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Because when you play that game well, you're slaying a giant. You know, that game's crapping on you left and right. So when you're able to make your shots, you feel like a damn champion.
Mm-hmm.
But for a beginner player to walk up to that, I'm just assuming he's a beginner player.
I'm assuming as well, but maybe not the first choice you have as the global ambassador or something.
Yeah, like throw him on maybe anything else.
Maybe you know what would be good for him? Maybe a little Aerosmith.
Ooh, yeah,
Right.
that's fun to shoot. Aerosmith.
Throw it up into the toy box, get Jackie jumping around for you.
Yeah, man, that game likes to hand out points for sure.
I like that.
Pinball market trends.
Ooh, all right. Is everybody ready for the favorite segment that is nowhere near quantifiable or backed up with actual data? This is Pinball Market Trends. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Zach. On Pinball Market Trends, trading up this week is Monster Bash Remake and Pirates of the Caribbean by Jersey Jack. I know, listen, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say they haven't even hit the shelves yet, Zach, but you know what? The hype train is coming full force. Pirates of the Caribbean. People were moaning and groaning, the spinning disc, the chest doesn't open, Monster Bash isn't going to have new cup. And guess what? They're coming out, and everybody wants them now. That's right, I got my Pirates of the Caribbean coming to you Trending down this week, unfortunately, people are trying to get rid of these pinball machines for all the new juice. Everybody wants the new stuff, so everybody's selling the Houdini. Everybody is selling the TNA, the Total Nuclear Annihilation. You're seeing those drop, you guys. This is no BS. Houdini, I projected that it would hit $6,000 price point on the secondary market next summer. It's already there. People want the new stuff, so they got to get rid of their most recent stuff. TNAs are dropping as well. Yeah, I thought those things were going to hover around $7,000 on the secondary market because there's a line like Disneyland for them. But nope, people are letting them go, and they're letting them go cheaper and cheaper and cheaper by the minute. Holding steady this week is Deadpool. Oh? Yeah, that's right. Deadpool's holding steady because of this. Hear me. Alright, to show pictures of this thing, everybody goes goo goo gaga. Art is awesome. God. Playfield looks like it's really, really cool and unique, but then the stream happens, and it looks like Jack's Woody's long ball time. Nobody understands code quite yet. It looks smooth. It looks real smooth, both physically and visually smooth. But how's it going to land? Is it going to be long ball time? Is it going to be multi-ball heavy? Is that stupid mini Deadpool going to annoy me over and over and over again? I don't know. That's why it's holding steady. And if you notice, Jack is not on the line right now because I didn't have the heart to do this with him on the phone. And that's your Pinball Market Trends with your host, Zach. Now back to your regularly scheduled interview.
Victory laps.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charlie.
This isn't working.
It doesn't work. Happy birthday to you.
Ah, man. 50 years old. You don't look a day over 49, my man.
CEO and founder of Spooky Pinball. You know what? That conceptually sounded like a better idea than it was because there's a little lag. But
There's lag, and also like when I talk, it mutes you, and then we're coming in every once in a while and it's speech jamming me.
It's the stuff that counts, damn it, people. Go with us.
Love
All
you, Chef.
Now, Iron Maiden has new code. Go check that out. As well as an article for a hands-on approach with Iron Maiden. Another article on arcade bars and them being on the rise. Stern Coffee Table book is getting an update. Have you seen any of that yet?
They've talked to me a little bit. The
I've seen some of the Stern coffee table book. It sounds like a pretty awesome idea, actually.
publisher. There's some really cool stuff coming. I can't wait for more
good stuff.
I wonder. I think I think there was a bit of a delay because there might have been some stuff about a person who isn't a Stern employee anymore. I don't know. Maybe that had to come out. I'm just speculating. I really don't know too much about it, but I know that I've seen some of the content and it's pretty dope.
That's really, really cool. Now, the 2018 New York City Pinball Championship Women's Final is now up on YouTube, so make sure to check that out. The link is in thisweekinpinball.com.
Are we gonna shout? Do we get to shout out the winner, or do we not want to?
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Elisa Parks, congratulations.
Bam.
Local Chicagoan, her and her son Zach are monster pinball players here, and yeah, they slay everything.
That's
absolutely.
Really cool. I've not had the pleasure of meeting her yet.
Oh yeah, they're a dynamic duo for sure.
Very nice. Now, next article is The Wizard of Oz, pulling back the curtain to reveal the master behind Pinball Expo. Check out that article, as well as Pinball Magazine #5 has been sent to the printer. Should be available.
Oh, baby.